Start up, but I think we're going to be ready. Let's give it a second. Boy, honey, that's warm. There we go. And it would appear as though we are on, connecting, live chats, the whole 9 yards. And let's find out. Check in both places like we normally do. So let's see. Yeah, we're showing us live. There you go. All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you guys who've been here before, for those of you guys that haven't, welcome to the channel. This is the High Desert Music Channel. Tonight is Wednesday, gear night, right? So, if you caught last Wednesday's gear night, I think that was last. Oh Christ, I don't remember. Pretty bad though, nonetheless. It wasn't very good. So we're not going to do that this time. I'm not going to try to show you guys an amp or talk through something I can't really get on camera. So we're going to talk about the MIDI this week because there's been huge progress. Do you guys hear the echo? I hear an echo on my end. Do you guys hear it? I can't tell why I'm hearing this echo, but I don't know. Anyway, who knows? So, as I said, progress made with the MIDI this week, and so that's kind of what I want to get into. Like, I pretty well have a good grip going on the software, right? I think what I'll do here is let's just talk through this for a minute, and then I'll switch the camera angle, so you can see the setup, see what's going on. Anyway, so I got a lot of things figured out, and I was able to get things working, correctly, and there you go. Maybe that was my whole issue. I had the power on these headphones, and you probably don't need the power. Anyway, it sounds like the hum is gone, at least in my ears. I don't know if there ever was a hum on your end. There was a wicked one on my end. It's kind of throwing me off, obviously. For my, generally wildly professional manner of presentation. Anyway, the MIDI. So I've kind of figured out how to get, programs loaded in and get things moving the way they're supposed to. I'm not real good at making music. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I am. That part's going to come. That's going to take some effort, some practice. But I also kind of figured out, sequences, some of these pre-programmed sequences, and then I can take out stuff that I don't want. And then, there's kind of a baseline there to begin with. That seems pretty interesting to me. I just kind of stumbled onto that one yesterday and today. Just trying to figure out, what's actually going on with the software. What can this software that I have, what can I actually do with it? What are the capabilities? What can I actually make this stuff do now that I have a baseline knowledge of how to get the MIDI to make noise when I want it to, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things I'd still like to figure out. I'd like to figure out key velocity. I have the pad velocity adjusted to be, pretty sensitive, I guess one would say, because you don't have to hit it very hard to get full throttle. And the aftertouch and all that, which I really don't have a grasp on. I seriously don't. I really don't. So I kind of right now am using full level, just so I can get myself used to the operation of the board and the keyboard and the pads and the software, and make basic stuff, and then lean into some of that other. And maybe if you watched the show this weekend, I don't remember what one that was. Maybe that was Monday's show. Probably Monday's show. I've been listening a lot to one of my playlists. It's a lot of electronic music to kind of get myself in that mode. And I re-listened to a couple of cover songs that are pretty good, like, wow, I had forgotten kind of about those. And how songs slip your memory if you don't listen to them all the time. And I've learned that playing them is exactly the same. I played something, maybe it was yesterday morning on the guitar, and I hadn't played it in 6-8 weeks, and I'd never played it before. It was just horrendous. But that's that, so be it. So the MIDI is coming, it's getting there, and I figured out these sequences and kind of starting to work my way through what is offered in that software package that comes with the Akai, and finding out, these sequences, like I said, that are already kind of pre-built. I really, man, this is one of those times when I really wish that I had two computers, or one that was way better than the one that I have. The one I have, I really don't know if I'd be able to stream and run the MPC beats at the same time. We're going to try it, though. I'm going to, while you guys are listening to me ramble on and I don't look at you for a minute here, I'm going to see if I can fire this up and get the MPC beats to work and take a hold and open up, and then we can look at it. And I've got, the little green folding table. I had some pieces of plywood laying around. I cut them into almost square shapes, almost square cuts, pretty somewhat straight lines, for a guy who quit being a carpenter long ago. So I made a little shelf. I got the monitor sitting on the shelf. I moved the Scarlett up there. I got a different desk lamp so that everything's on the board. And that way it's a little easier for me, because we cover this every show, and sometimes it gets old, but I feel like I have to continually say something. But these guys, they're here, the studio audience, they're here for the tacos, but I have a button that I push that makes them scream and shout. And if I don't push the button, the lights won't light up over there. And, they're on a little bit of a delay on the CCTV. They're like 3 seconds. You guys out there in TV land, you're 30. The audience here, they're like 2.5, 3 seconds. So I have a button that I push, and there you go. That gets them to start hooting and hollering because the lights come on. Woo-hoo! So anyway, so it makes it easier now with this setup. It's easier to hit my little light up the sign button so that they all go crazy and laugh and cheer at the right spots. Because again, they're here for the food. Let's be honest. It's nice. It's certainly not the show. Anyway, looks like we're maybe still waiting on it. I'm not. This computer's slower than Christmas. Like molasses in January. So I don't. It seems like maybe it's gonna go. Starting to think maybe I don't like the mic setup with the computer on the same little shelf. I think you guys heard that when I tapped on the computer. It resonates through the mic arm. Might have to do something about that. Maybe get a rubber pad or something. I don't know, man. Think of something. I don't know. That's a different problem for a different day. So anyways, I'm getting this Sakai figured out, and I'm starting to figure out which packages so to speak, that I like in terms of which drum kit, which 808 kit, which kits are more sample, like long-winded kind of sample thing, as opposed to a beat or drum or a hi-hat or a rim shot, what have you, you know. I'm starting to figure that out, at least in terms of what I have to offer. What's offered to me, at least free. And I haven't really spent any time going out there and digging through. It just dawned on me that I didn't take the time to change the name of the show for tonight or anything, so I think it probably still says Friday Night Show. Or maybe Monday Night Christ, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'm starting to figure out which kits I like, which kits I don't. Try to figure out how to listening to a lot of electronic music to try and think about in my mind how to build these tunes. And using the pre-made sequences. So if you don't know, like the MPC Beats software is the one that I know the most of. I have some of these others, and I have not, where I was going to say, I have not spent any time looking for free plugins or free MIDI files, you know, and I'm sure there's plenty of them out there on the internet. I just haven't gone looking. So again, if you know, if that's something you know, you have information, hey man, check these out. You know, if there's MIDI packs that you know of any kind that are freebies or dirt cheap, let me know. I'd be interested to see what else is going on out there besides the free stuff I have. Certainly there's better samples and better instruments and better stuff than what comes free with $100 MIDI machine, you know, MIDI keyboard. Certainly there's better stuff out there. It's just, I just don't know where to go look for it. It's not something I've ever gone looking for. That's not been the software I ever needed. So if you know where to find MIDI packs and stuff like that, let me know. Put it in the comments. Send us an email. High Desert Music Channel, all one word, all lowercase, at gmail.com. And let me know, because I'd be interested in that to see what else is out there and find more stuff. I am starting to realize this co-producer, I'm sure some of you guys out there have seen, if you're watching guitar videos, you know, thanks for that in general from the whole, you know, music and guitar world community. Thank you, you know, for checking those kind of videos out. That's what keeps all of us doing it. Some people are obviously collecting some paychecks and stuff like that and contributing a whole lot more than I am. But that's why all of us that are in this music kind of thing, that's why we do it, you know, because yeah, because once it gets India, it's India, and you want to share that stuff with everybody. So if you know, if you're a guitar guy, you might have seen this co-producer. I don't know a whole lot about it other than to say any sort of app that will dig through piles and piles of samples to find the cool ones that might already fit with what I've put together sounds pretty interesting to me. As an individual who's certainly not a music producer, quote unquote. Doesn't mean I don't want to try to get to that point, you know, to actually make and put something out that's on Spotify that can be listened to. That'd be awesome, you know, to try and teach myself how to create a decent song. So it's something we're working towards, obviously, you know, that's part of what we'll do on the channel as well, you know. You'll see that'll be stuff we do. I'm going to try to get 2 cameras figured out, you know, see if I can't figure out how to get 2 camera angles, maybe get the phone involved. And some way get a second camera so that I can get one on me and one like on the computer, so you can see what I'm doing. You know, I can maybe screen, you know, in the corner of the screen or something. I know that my OBS software will allow me to do such a thing and transition in and out of that. I do have another, like a little projector. I was thinking about this today too, because I'm getting old. So any of you old folks out there like me, I had to go buy 1 power reading glasses. It's been a couple of years, and they're still okay. One's still enough, but I had to go buy 1 power reading glasses. You know, the cheap ones that you buy 20 at a time on eBay or Temu or any of those other places. So I bought me, you know, by this point in life, I got like 30. Well, some of them gone, broken, lost, what have you. But, you know, they're everywhere. So it's hard for me to sometimes see the screen. And so I have another projector, and I was thinking about it today, that maybe that would work too, that I could just wire that in and call that a second input, and then project like the MPC beats from the computer onto that screen, and maybe figure out a way to film it or just put it into the corner, you know, directly into the videos. That way we can see it. So that's stuff I'm going to try to look into, you know. That's obviously not necessarily gear related, but the Mini is, the APK Mini is, and or the Akai MPK Mini is. So I'm really starting to figure out that it's a pretty slick little tool, and for the $100 I got wrapped up in it right now, $120, because I think I bought the protection plan, you know. It's well worth it, and it's going to lead where I want it to lead. You know, I'm just going to have to put the effort and the work into it, and stay up late, get up early, that kind of thing. And actually, you know, just knuckle under and make the decision that that's what I'm going to do, and really lean into it, to spend a few hours on one 3-minute thing, you know, even if it turns into weeks, 2 weeks, you know, 20, 30, 40 hours to get one 3-4 minute thing, but get it right and get it to be correct. And I, you know, if you can do that, then in the future they would speed up, you know. But anyways, yeah, I might start trying to figure out how to use that second projector that I have, this little mini projector that I have, as a second screen, and be able to show you guys what I'm seeing on the MIDI, and that might be helpful, you know, for folks that are watching and want to figure these things out. I mean, you know, maybe you've been playing for a while, but you never had a MIDI. Me, I obviously haven't been playing for very long and wanted a MIDI. So, but you know, especially if you were seriously musically inclined but had never tried to use one of these things, you could figure it out real quick. I mean, if you played with it, if you're anywhere Gen X style, you know, because we are what we are. Yeah. What are you going to say, you know? Yeah, we get it. We all get it. All of us in this group, anyways, we get it. I mean, you figure it out. You make it fucking happen. That's just the way it works, you know? It just needs to happen for me. I will learn to do it. I'll do it. I'll make it happen. If you're musically inclined and musically talented but have not tried the MIDI, I think it would just come so easy to you. And you would be cranking out music in no time. For me, I got to learn it. I got to kind of start with somebody else's and take away and add, and learn what, you know, what I want to try to do. Electronic is certainly not the kind of music that I'm generally trying to make. It is certainly not my normal listening stuff. However, I do think that I'm going to have to learn how to create and produce that electronic style music, to then kind of lean into using a MIDI to create harder stuff, like rock and roll stuff, like heavy metal, hard rock, you know, AC/DC, Metallica type of stuff. Eventually, yeah, I would like to be able to create the covers for the songs that I played for you guys. You know, like be able to re-release all the videos I've already put out, but with a backing track that is royalty free because I created it, you know. And I think I also really, it continues to be a thought with me as I think through this MIDI and try and work on stuff, that rearranging tunes to create completely different yet similar, you know, major differences yet similarities, you know, so that the cover sounds like the cover but with a completely different set of instruments maybe. And I bring this up because I heard a cover tonight that I hadn't heard for a while, of Harvest Moon, Neil Young. Let's see, I'll figure out who it was. It's like as I said, it's an electronic band of some sort. And let me go find it for you here. And as I said the other night, if you're interested in what I'm listening to in terms of just music, raw music, you know, what I listen to, not what I'm trying to make and record, but what I listen to from day to day, so on and so forth. You can find me on Spotify. I'm Royals First with a capital R, Royals First. Royals First, all one word, capital R. You know, you can follow me and check out my playlists. So the songs I start talking about in these videos, you can go listen to if you want. You know, you can go check it out. Poolside is the name of the band. Poolside, Poolside, Poolside. And their cover of Harvest Moon is pretty slick, man. Completely rearranged. Well, not necessarily rearranged, but different instruments. The beat's the same, the rhythm's the same, so it's not completely rearranged. But it sounds totally different while being vastly similar, if that makes any sense at all. You know, I can draw a pretty damn crooked line, so good luck following it, you know. But yeah, it's not like I'm gonna make it easy for you guys, so you know, yeah. Anyway, a little slow on that one, wasn't I? Didn't quite reach that button fast enough. So yeah, we're gonna work with MIDI this week. That's gonna be our big thing, and that's our kind of, like I say, the focus tonight. And like I said, there's other things I'd like to figure out. Key velocity. I have the pad velocity kind of adjusted, but the video that I watched in order to figure that one out didn't go through adjusting key velocities. And I don't know if you guys, you know, some of you guys I'm sure are kind of like me as an old guy. I would rather have 100-page book printed up, bound together, and given to me in my packaging that I paid for as to the operation of said machine and how to adjust to the parameters, so on and so forth, as opposed to trying to look it up through an online book, you know, in PDF, and just have to scroll until I find it. Nor do I really want to chew up an entire printer cartridge to print off my own 50-page copy of it. Like, you know, how cheap are you people? But such is the world. I mean, so there are things I'd like to figure out. Those kind of parameters I'd like to figure out. Why I would like to kind of also figure out why, and I think I'm starting to maybe catch on, but I'm just curious as to how and why some things pop up on the keyboard and the whole keyboard will work, and the pads, and sometimes only the pads work. I'm kind of curious as to how that operates, and is it possible for me to set up two separate things in the same track? That's probably where you can't. They'd have to be in a separate track. So, like, you know, the keys could. Yeah, I think that would have to be in multiple tracks. these are things to think about as I'm trying to learn this. And if you've got any knowledge, let us know. Leave a comment on the videos. Good, bad, or otherwise, we'd love to hear it. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel for us. That would be pretty helpful. We've been stuck at 62 subscribers. We lost somebody. We were at 63. Now we're at 62. So, we could use some help around here. Yeah, I could use the help from you guys that watch. Even if you're watching these well after I put them up, man, I will notice that someone has made a comment and watched it. I trust me, I watch the counts on these just as I'm waiting to figure out which episode was good. And we're still waiting. But hey, we don't hold our breath around here while we wait. And yeah. So there's that part. Anyway, let's see if I can't figure out how to get you guys a shot of kind of the work area here, the new working area that I'm kind of trying to work with. Didn't quite think that sentence through, did I? But yeah, let's take a look at the kind of new AV station, shall we? I guess. Christ, I don't know. But the spot where I try to learn how to make music and put it up here for you guys and create it for other people. So anyway, let me see if I can get a good camera shot at this. Hang on, let's try this out. This is a new one, for all you guys that are new to the channel, first time popping by to check this video out. Thanks. I'm not sure what drew you in, but thank you very much for coming to check out the video. And so for those of you that don't know, I don't have two cameras, so I'm going to run this in a seriously professional manner, and I'm just going to kind of swing this thing around and see if I can't find the right spot. I'm going to make sure I can see the computer screen, or the window that has the video on it, as I swing said camera around. So here we go with the highly professional scene transitions. Somebody out there, good Lord, who is teaching an AV class and how to make a TV video, how to make a TV show class, this right here, in the next 13, 14 seconds, this needs to be clipped and shown to the world as to the proper way to transition from shot to shot in your video. I have thought this one through for several minutes now. That's kind of why I've been hemming and hawing, thinking this one through. And yeah, I can't, in my mind, come up with a more high quality transition than the one you're about to see. So yeah, let's pull the scene transition here and see if we can't look at the audio video workstation. All right, there you go. So you can see you get the MIDI here. Man, I can't obviously get a good shot of the screen from here, but we can put it up. I can drag stuff in there. You guys can't even see me, I don't think. So we could drag stuff in there and put in whole sequences, right? And I have now the monitor set up. I believe that, yeah, we'd even be able to hear it. In the monitor, but also, do I hear myself? No. Okay, cool. So there we go. Maybe that's all right then, I guess. We'll see then. Maybe, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I was hoping maybe that I'd be able to play something on here and just kind of make this thing make some noises for us, and get something out of it. Let's see if there's one. I haven't looked at all of these by any means, so we're just kind of I'm just kind of checking stuff out still with this software in terms of whole templates and whole sequences and all that kind of thing. So this is going to be a sequence. I'm just going to drag the whole sequence in, and so when you do it that way, it will now load up all of the instruments that it's used. And I really wish I could zoom in on the screen. You can't really see it, but if you ever have the software in front of you, there's a row of like dots and dashes on the screen that are the beats, and the various instruments are labeled next to them. And this is what I was getting at. It's just very small and very hard to read, and even when you try to expand it, it still is. And so, you know, but it will come together. And let's find out, because I don't know. Let's find out if we'll be able to hear this through the monitor. Let me just take the headphones plumb off here, and let's... I don't hear them. I don't hear it. I don't know. I don't hear it. So I'm not sure. I think I'm in the right one. Hang on a second. Let's try this. We're going to hear this through. Yeah, okay. So that's giving me the other. Oh. That's why. Okay. So. All right. Well, I just totally figured that out. So anyway, this is the APK Mini. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen one on other videos. Mine is actually tied to the computer, so it's a little hard to move it around. You know, you got pads, keys. There's nothing real special about this one. This was the cheap $99 one. This yeah, it was $99 at the local Guitar Center. Does come with a lot of software, and as I just figured out, I think the reason that I can't hear it, I would probably have to try a different output to get that one to you, and I'll have to think that through. But anyway, I do have it now set up with my monitor and stuff that you guys can see in the background there. So I do have it set up now that everything will come through the monitor, and there's a sub under the table, so you get the full sound that you're looking for. You know, you really can hear what you want to hear. And it's a pretty slick setup. I mean, you can kind of, I guess, see that on the screen. It's pretty hard to see on... Yeah, it's really hard to see, and I will figure out a second camera location that somehow works, maybe over, kind of over my left shoulder and a lot closer, to get you guys another view somehow, even if it is maybe that little projector. But you know, all of these episodes that I do, I learned a little bit of something in every one of these episodes that I try to put up for you guys. I figure something else out to try and up the quality. You guys can see we kind of changed the camera angle a little bit today. You know, just to, well, I mean, not just for the sake of changing stuff up, but to try to get a little bit more of what's, you know, some of the other things that are going on. So we're gonna change back now. Instead of you guys just watching the side of my face, we're gonna start swinging. Let me I should have thought this through a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right, well, looks like we're right about back to where, whoa, hey there. Boy, howdy, she jumped up high, huh? Kicking like a mule. Anyway, yeah, see, so again, this one definitely worked out a little better than the amp episode. If you guys saw the amp episode, what an absolute disaster that one was. Total abject failure, that one. No different than tonight's episode. Yeah, no different than tonight's episode. We're, killing it, man. I mean, we are unaliving it. Taking the internet by fire, man. So the MPK Mini again is pretty slick. It's a heck of a little tool, man, and I'm figuring a lot out with it. So anybody that stumbles on the video and checks it out, let me know what you think of the APK Mini. The Akai MPK Mini. Let me know what you think of it. If you like it, if you dislike it, why you dislike it. And I've had these arguments with longtime musicians over other things. Pedals, loopers. One of my guitar buddies, as I think I've said on one of the videos, just picks on me mercilessly because I chose a Line 6 JM4 loop station over a Boss RC5, brand new. What I want out of one of those pedals, I get what I want. So for me, it's kind of the same with the MPK. I'm going to get what I want out of it because I don't really know what I want yet, if that makes sense, right? That's why I get what I want from the pedal that I have, because I don't know what I want yet, and I don't really know how to use it. And I'm going to learn, and that'll lead me to what's the better one eventually, I'm sure. Same with looper pedals and all that. What's going to lead me to the better looper pedal, and so on and so forth. So we'll get stuff like that figured out. We'll get these videos, zeroed in on in terms of quality of me showing you stuff off on these gear episodes. Otherwise, they might just have to be taped. I kind of like doing them live. I don't know that they work real well. Nobody really watches the Wednesday night videos anyway. Not like people are watching any of the videos for that matter. But that's a different story. I'll figure out the reach. How to get out there and get other people. If share the show with anybody that you can think of that might be interested in guitar learning, middle-aged guitar learning, bass learning, music, just music in general, man. That again, I kind of hammer on this every time we have an episode, and maybe I need to clip these out and get them into shorts or something, and get it out there to people. But the whole point of the High Desert Music Channel is to be a spot where folks can come and realize everybody has to learn sometime. And we all suck a little bit now and then at this, that, or the other, and you got to keep doing it to get better, and be a kind of a place where people can encourage each other to keep trying. I will say, it's not like I'm getting crazy amounts of views. It's not like I'm going viral on YouTube, but what I have not gotten is a bunch of assholes in the comments. And I mean, if you want to comment and be an asshole, fine. I don't care. Engagement is engagement. As far as YouTube and I are concerned, I don't care, good or bad. Obviously, I prefer thumbs up, and I prefer subscribing, and I prefer nice comments, good comments, helpful comments. But I want this to be a spot where everybody can say what they need to say, good, bad, or otherwise. If you're going to say something nasty on my channel, I would prefer you say it towards me and not any of the other commenters. Those people aren't the star of the channel. They're not the ones that are dumb enough to put themselves out here like this. So that's important. That's what I want to make sure that people understand, that's, even though I'm stumbling and fumbling and these aren't great videos, that the whole point of this channel is that they get better. The videos will get better. My playing will get better. And that is how music works. You invest some time, some energy, and you get better. And you gain more and more and more from it. Hello there. It's nice to see you. Thank you for coming to check us out and watching the show. Looks like we're actually not doing too bad tonight. Boy, howdy. I mean, there's a good chance right now for all you folks out there in TV land. There's a pretty good chance that there are 3 people besides me watching the show. So thank you to those 1 to 3 people that may or may not be out there watching the show tonight. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Share the show, share the channel with anybody you know that has thought about learning music, that wants to learn music, that already knows it really well, but likes helping people get better at it. I really would like this to turn into a kind of a community of learning of people who are behind each other and helpful with each other. And as I said, if you want to say nasty things in the comments, that's fine. But if ever we do start to get comments from other folks, from other viewers, don't make your nasty comments to them. Make them to me. Those people don't deserve it. I don't care what they have to say. You don't answer it with nastiness. That would be appreciated, by me anyway. So we'll see how the world works out. Maybe that works for us. Maybe it doesn't. But that's the whole point, man, is to kind of provide a place for people to come and see that you can get better at it. It might take a little while, and maybe you're already way better than I am, man, and it will cause you to want to play more and cause you to want to continue to get better and make your own YouTube channel and show everybody else how you're doing it and what you're practicing with, what equipment you're using, and your techniques and your plans. That's what I would really like to have. That's the whole point here at High Desert Music, is to be good to folks and have a decent channel and have a place where people can come and learn how to play music, man, and watch other people and learn how to suck the good parts of life right out of the bones, And so I will zero in on this. I will try to figure out another camera position to kind of make this work better. I've also figured out, while doing these videos for you guys, I don't even know if it's the good camera. The camera that I generally am using, when I'm using it, it's tied directly to the computer, and for whatever reason at that point loses all of its ability to zoom in, zoom out, at least on the camera. Maybe there's a setting on the computer that would allow me to zoom it in and out. Maybe I have remote control over it and I just haven't figured that out yet. So that's kind of an issue. The camera that you guys generally are watching me on, it kind of is pretty static in terms of what it offers. If I want to change its perspective, I need to get it closer or further away. So it may be kind of hard for me with that camera to get a shot of the screen, the computer screen, and the keyboard. And maybe I need to figure out the phone, because if the phone would be vertical, and therefore, since the computer's on the shelf above the keyboard, as you guys saw, it would work, and I could maybe tripod the phone right next to me in front of everything, and then work over the top of it to use the keys and things. I'll try to figure that out and zero in on it, and as I said, I kind of come across something every time I put one of these videos up that, okay, I didn't think about that, and I need to figure that out in terms of how to make that something that works on camera. Because I really, again, today I was like, oh yeah, man, I've had so much with the MIDI and made these huge, in my mind, huge leaps and bounds, and I've come, for me, a pretty long way. I'm not anywhere. I'm not anywhere, but I've come a good distance for me from this thing. Been sitting here the last 6 weeks, and really only in the last 6 days have I really gotten a grip on it, which is good to me. Good. That's the kind of thing. These little victories, man, these tiny little wins are the ones that cause you to reach for the bigger wins, right? Small steps, man. I mean, you hear this kind of stuff in 12-step programs and all kinds of places, but you hear it because it's the truth. So, the little tiny victory of, oh man, that's cool. Okay, now I can get drum kits loaded in here, and I see how that operates, and I can make this thing make some noises. And then the next tiny little victory of, okay, now I've got multiples in there, I can switch back and forth. And oh wait, okay, I see. I can layer these in different tracks, man. Okay, so I can use this kit in this track and this kit in that track. And wait a minute, then these sequences are already all put together, and they come preloaded with the kits and everything laid out, and you just kind of take away and add. And small victory after small victory after small victory in terms of that software and the APK, MPK. Good Lord, one of these days I'm going to say it. I'm going to spit the right letters out one day, damn it. Maybe I should lay off the coffee. I don't know. I've only had like 3 pots today. What do you guys drink? There's a question. What do you guys drink? Myself, I'm a Folgers guy. I like the cheap shit. Yeah. Blacker tonight, nothing in it. Well, ice. I'll usually throw a couple ice cubes of cold water in there so I can drink it right off the bat. But yeah, I'm a Folgers guy. I like the cheap stuff. I'm not going to Starbucks and paying $9, $10, $12 for a cup of coffee. It makes no sense to me. But anyhow, totally beside the point. All right. Well, we're hitting 50 minutes. And apparently I need to invest in a cough button, amongst other things. But I will continue to try and make strides for you guys in terms of figuring out how to get a second camera involved, and or if I can't do that, thinking these videos through a little more and getting my camera blocking ahead of time, so that when it is time to go on the video, I can just I can have tape on the floor or something that this is where it lands, and that way any changes like that I have to make can be done fairly quick. And again, to simply, seriously, totally, and truly, to kind of up the quality, just to make the videos a little nicer to watch for the few people who do check them out, in the hopes that eventually they get a little more widespread, and other people start catching on, and maybe I start to catch on as to what to offer, what's the content that people are most likely to watch. I do think this is aside from gear completely, but for anybody listening, yep, there. That's all I have to say about that. No, I think I probably will continue to do the life and music episodes live on Sunday mornings. That maybe seemed to go over a little better. I understand. By that, I mean 3 people said they liked that better than the week before being a recorded video. Now, I don't know if I didn't dig in deep enough to really get to the meat and the heart of their comment, because it was made directly to me in passing, kind of in real life. Well, in total real life, not kind of, but kind of in passing, totally in real life, that they liked it, that was the one they wanted. What I did not dig in and find out was that the content, the bearing your soul nature of the content that was more appreciated, and what I need to do more of, or was it the live nature of the show on Sunday morning? Certainly I shouldn't be taking place of church, but hey, if that's what's asked of me, I will. I am an ordained minister. I have married individuals legally, so there is that, and therefore Sunday mornings, are totally okay. It's fine for me to come out live on Sunday mornings and do a show, because I am a man of the cloth in my spare time. So, there is that. I wouldn't say I've made a lot of money at it, but I have actually married a few people and can legally do so. So therefore, it's okay for me to do live shows on Sunday morning. Not with me or with you two, obviously, but with the folks up, the folks at the main office. They're going to be okay with the Sunday show because I'm on their side and they know it. Yeah. So we're probably going to keep doing those live on Sunday mornings, and yeah, I will zero in on 2 cameras, or knowing my second camera position ahead of time and somehow making it work. I mean, maybe. I can't afford to go buy a GoPro. However, you want to send one to me, send an email, I'll give you an address. A GoPro would probably work, because you could just put it on like chest high and aim it at the computer. You could put it on your head. I got a climbing helmet. I got a couple of hard hats. I got lids of various styles. But perhaps a GoPro would be the way to go, or like I say, maybe the phone. I'll figure out a second camera. I'll get on that for you. And I will bring you better quality stuff, higher quality production, higher production value, and hopefully I can again zero in on the content that people want more of. So if you do want to make a comment, and you don't care, if you don't care the whole world reading your comment, leave me a comment in the videos. Let me know what kind of content you prefer. If you're more interested in just John about music and how music is wrapped into your world, and if you want hours a week, you want 3 episodes a week of music and life, I can come and do that. If you don't want gear episodes, you don't want practice episodes, maybe you want a Friday night free for all and 2 episodes of life and music live a week, which I'm not against, man, to have a live show that kind of ends up being like a live kind of talking to everybody, people getting in on chats, and we talking back and forth to the people on the chat, on the show, and we just talk music and how music has wrapped itself around us, just kind of hang around for an hour or two and see where we go. I'm all for that sort of a show, totally. If that's something that you guys want to see, let me know. Put it in the comments. Send us an email, High Desert Music Channel, all one word, all lowercase, @gmail.com. Leave a comment on any of the videos. We have a footprint now on Rumble, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. We are at High Desert Music Channel. If I at most of the places I can get to right now, I don't have them everywhere. But I've gotten several, so there's several places you can come and give me your ideas. You can send direct messages to me at on the Instagram account and the TikTok account. You can send direct messages to me. I don't know if you can on YouTube. I think that you can on Rumble. But let me know, what is it that you like? If you don't want to put it in the comment of the video because you don't want to share it with the world, I totally understand that. Not everybody is dumb enough, as stupid as I am, to come and just throw your whole world up on camera, and be so bad at it while you do it. So if you've got ideas that you think what you would like to see more of. Let me know. Send them in any. You can find me, like as I said, on any of those socials. I'm going to try to get the descriptions updated of the channel in all of these social media places too. I do and I don't want to, but I am going to go the Patreon Buy Me a Coffee route. I will get those things set up and get those links in the description. I don't want it to seem like I'm begging for money from people, but any support from the audience would help. We have no audience right now, so obviously we need to build that before we're going to get some amount of support. But I'm going to get those things in place for any of the few viewers that we do have who want to throw a guy $5 or $10. It's all really helpful. Totally is. So I'm gonna. Yeah, we're going to probably call that a night for tonight. That's an hour. Very little of it has been about gear. Most of it just kind of rambling on, Ramble on. So I will work on second camera positions. I will work on the MIDI some more. I don't know if my practice goal for the week of trying to come up with bumper music or opening credits music is going to happen by Friday, given that tomorrow's Thursday, but it might. One never knows when you're going to land on something that, oh dude, okay, that'll work, at least as a beginning spot. So who knows, maybe I'll make that, maybe I'll meet that goal this week. That'd be really cool. Even if it was 2 weeks more, if it was another week out or 2 more weeks out, I'd be okay with that too before I put something good up. But hopefully we can come up with at least something and talk about that a little bit more on Friday. So all right, gang, thank you so much for coming by and checking us out. This is the High Desert Music Channel. We really appreciate you coming by and checking out the videos. Like our videos, subscribe to the channel, share the show, share the videos with anybody that you think who needs a good laugh at reject like me, or anybody that you think wants to watch somebody struggle to play an instrument, and anybody that wants to watch somebody try and improve at a lot of things all at once, man. Just kind of throwing it all at myself at one time and trying to get better at a lot of it. And if you just want to watch the train wreck that may very well be in progress, let them know. Some people like that reality show horror. And so yeah, share the show with anybody that might want to check it out. There's a myriad of reasons as to why somebody might want to watch this crazy show. And I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you clicking on the videos. I appreciate any comments you'd like to make, good, bad, or otherwise. We'd sure love to hear it. Thank you so much again for coming by High Desert Music Channel. We will catch you on Friday night, 9 o'clock Mountain Time. And yeah, the kind of sort of Friday free for all. Might be free for nothing. Free for all, free for nothing. Maybe they're kind of the same. Who knows? Anyways, I'd like to say thank you to the studio audience. Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. They are always up to the tacos, So thank you so much. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. No more tacos. We're out. The tacos are gone. The taco light turned off 20 minutes ago. So don't keep waving your empty little cardboard containers around like they want a damn taco. The tacos have been gone for 20 minutes. Like it's a limitless supply or something. I don't know what these people